Whenever I see a comment like this, it always reveals to me that this person does not understand the power differential in world affairs, or how neocolonialism and Western imperialism work. Cuba is nothing like Ukraine. Ukraine is a vassal for the global hegemon. Cuba is the biggest victim of the global hegemon, the US. If you cannot acknowledge that the United States is the world's largest superpower in all of world history, then there's no need to go any further in a discussion with world affairs. And before you say that Russia is guilty of imperialism in Ukraine, let's first understand that imperialism is not just simply an invading army. The ability to imperialize relies on a superpower possessing industrial monopolies capable of exporting finance capital and investment capital in order to sustain colonialism in underdeveloped countries. This is essentially how NATO and the IMF work hand in hand. One component brings war, the other component brings capital. There is only one country in the world that is capable of forcing other countries to be debt slaves to the world banking system. That country is the United States. Russia, on the other hand, has an economy the size of Texas. The Russian army has severe trouble capturing cities 30 kilometers from its borders. It simply cannot do imperialism in any meaningful sense the way the US can. And then you might say, no one's forcing Ukraine to join NATO. NATO isn't to blame for this war. Russia is. And even that's not true. NATO and the US have consistently provoked and escalated the conflict in the region with Russia for 3 decades. But let's just go back to 2014, when the CIA and the NED couped the democratically elected government of Ukraine by deposing Viktor Yanukovych, who was pro-Russian and fostering a friendly relationship with Russia, and installed Petro Poroshenko, who was the opposite. He was pro-EU, he was pro-NATO, he was pro-US. Needless to say, this was not representative of what the Ukrainian people wanted. In the following decade, about 100,000 Ukrainian soldiers were trained by NATO. On September 1st, 2021, which was just a few months before the war broke out, the White House issued a policy statement where it stated, "We intend to continue our robust training and exercise program in keeping with Ukraine's status as a NATO-enhanced opportunities partner." For 3 decades, Russia has always viewed Ukraine as a red line. The US baited Russia into war.